Your paycheck just hit. You check your account and think, okay, I've got this. But by the end of the week, gone. Completely gone. And here's the crazy part, you have nitrogen monoxide idea where it went. But what if I told you there's a 3-bucket system so simple that a 5-year-old could use it? And it could turn $4,000 into nearly $500,000 in 20 years? Look, I get it. You've probably heard 100 budgeting tips online. Track every dollar, cut your subscriptions, stop buying coffee, and you think it makes sense. So you download a spreadsheet app, create 47 expense categories, and promise yourself you'll track everything. 3 days later, you give up. Because honestly, who has the energy to categorize their lunch expenses? Most financial advice creators have never actually tested their own advice in real life. But I'm not doing that today. I decided to run a 30-day experiment with the 50-30-20 rule, and the results are not what I expected. When I first heard about it, I literally thought, there's nitrogen monoxide way this actually works. I was dead wrong. Here's the thing. Despite sounding complicated, the 50-30-20 rule is basically 3 buckets, that's it. Bucket number 1, 50% is your needs, rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, the stuff you literally cannot live without. Bucket number 2, 30% is your wants, restaurants, entertainment, travel, that subscription service you're definitely using, the things that make life worth living but aren't essential. Bucket number 3, 20% is your future, savings, investments, paying down debt. This is the bucket that builds wealth. Simple? Yes. Powerful? Wait and see. Let's make this real. Say you earn $4,000 a month after taxes. So that's $2,000 for needs, $1,200 for wants, and $800 for savings and investing. No spreadsheets, no guesswork, just 3 numbers. But here's the thing, when I first looked at my actual spending, it looked nothing like this. Most people think their biggest expenses are rent and groceries. And yeah, those matter, but there's something sneaky happening in your bank account right now. The Bureau of Labor Statistics discovered that discretionary spending on dining out, subscriptions, impulse purchases, and delivery apps silently eats up a massive chunk of income. And it feels invisible because each expense is tiny. $15 lunch, $20 subscription, $30 delivery, $12 streaming service, $8 coffee. Do that a few times a week, and suddenly you've spent $300 plus without even thinking about it. That money just evaporates. Nobody talks about it. So when I started the 50-30-20 experiment, I thought I knew what would happen and was preparing to cut my lifestyle, but what actually happened shocked me. The first thing I noticed wasn't deprivation, it was awareness. The moment I knew I had a fixed $1,200 for wants, my brain started working differently. I stopped asking, can I afford this? And started asking, do I want this more than something else I might want later this week? That one question changed everything. Instead of mindlessly swiping, I was actually making choices, and here's what blew my mind. I wanted to stick to the budget, not because I'm disciplined, but because the system created natural boundaries. It's like having guardrails. You don't crash because the guardrails prevent it, not because you're white-knuckling the steering wheel. But what if your needs already exceed 50%? If you live in NYC or San Francisco, rent alone might be 60% of your income. I get it. The 50-30-20 rule isn't a law, it's a guideline. Even adjusting to 60-20-20 creates structure. And even 70-20-10 is better than chaos. The percentages don't matter as much as having a system at all. But here's where the math gets absolutely insane. Remember that $800 month you're saving? That's $9,600 per year. Now, what if you invested with a modest 8% annual return, not aggressive, not risky, just average market returns? After 20 years, that grows to approximately $450,000. Let me say that again. $450,000 from consistent saving. That's not from inheriting money, not from getting lucky, just literally from stopping the bleeding and letting compound interest work. And here's the psychological part: nobody talks about. This system made spending less stressful, not more. Because instead of constantly feeling guilty, should I buy this? Am I being irresponsible? I knew exactly what was allowed. If it came from my wants bucket, it was already approved. No guilt, no stress, just intentional decisions. Think about it like this. Most people treat money like a messy closet where everything gets thrown in randomly, and you never know where anything is. It's chaos. The 50-30-20 rule is like 3 labeled shelves: needs, wants, savings, and suddenly everything has a place and financial chaos becomes manageable. Here's what most creators won't tell you. The real power isn't the percentages, it's the clarity. When financial decisions become clear, behavior improves automatically. You don't need superhuman discipline. The structure does the work for you. After 30 days, 3 things happened. First, I became shockingly aware of my spending habits and was genuinely surprised at where money was going. Second, saving money became automatic, not forced, and I wasn't gritting my teeth and sacrificing. It just happened naturally. Third, financial anxiety basically disappeared, and honestly, that last one might be the most valuable benefit of all because money stress affects your sleep, your relationships, everything. Is the 50-30-20 rule perfect? No, but perfect is the enemy of good, right? Here's your starting point if you want to try this. Calculate your monthly income after taxes. Divide it into 3 buckets based on your situation. Track your spending for 30 days and adjust as needed. That's literally it. Because here's the truth. Most people don't fail financially because they make bad investments. They fail because they never create a system to invest in the first place. And the biggest financial mistake isn't overspending. It's operating without any structure at all. So if you found this helpful, smash that subscribe button and drop a comment about what budgeting system you use, or if you just spend and hope for the best. Because sometimes, maybe most of the time, improving your finances doesn't require complicated strategies. It just requires one simple rule applied consistently, and that one rule? That's what changes everything.